All right, fantasy fans, listen up. 2026 is already aura farming like crazy, and the genre is not playing safe this year. We've got emotional nukes, god-tier animation, and worlds that will straight up possess your soul. Let's get into it. Number 10, Freerian Beyond Journey's End, Season 2. You think this is just another slow, peaceful fantasy sequel? Yeah, that's the lie. I'm going to be honest with you. Freerian Season 2 doesn't raise its voice, and that's exactly why it hits harder. The show continues weaponizing silence like it's a forbidden spell. There are scenes where nobody says a word, yet you feel decades of regret, love, and time slipping through your fingers. The animation stays restrained but intentional. Soft color palettes, long static shots, and those lingering close-ups that make you sit there like, why does this hurt? The OST barely announces itself. It drifts in, gentle and melancholy, like a memory you didn't ask to remember. And Freerian herself? She's still emotionally distant, but now you see the cracks. Small gestures hit like boss battles. A pause, a look, a delayed reaction. That's the storytelling. This season leans heavier into legacy, what it means to outlive everyone and still care. If you've ever felt time moving faster than your emotions can keep up, buckle up. If you love slow burn fantasy that emotionally jump scares you, do not skip this. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Number 9, Witch Hat Atelier. You think this is just a cute magic anime? Nah, this one quietly rewires your brain. Witch Hat Atelier looks whimsical at first glance. Soft line work, storybook aesthetics, cozy fantasy vibes. But here's the twist. The magic system is so grounded and rule-based that every spell feels dangerous. Magic is drawn, not spoken. Every line matters. Every mistake has consequences. That alone makes every scene tense. The animation is painterly. Backgrounds look handcrafted, like they were pulled straight out of an illustrated novel. Motion feels delicate but precise, especially during spellcasting. Watching a character draw a circle feels more intense than most anime explosions. The OST leans fairy tale, but with an eerie undertone that reminds you this world is not safe. Character dynamics are where it really cooks. Coco's wonder clashes with a system that's harsh and unforgiving. Adults aren't evil, they're just complicit, and that's uncomfortable in the best way. If you've ever wanted fantasy that feels intimate, fragile, and quietly terrifying, this is your jam. Watch this if you love magic with rules, consequences, and emotional weight. Number 8, Fate Strange Fake. You think you're ready for another Fate war? Cool, you're not. Fate Strange Fake is absolute chaos, and I mean that respectfully. This thing doesn't ease you in, it throws you into a broken Holy Grail war where the rules are already dead. Servants are wild picks, masters are unhinged, and alliances feel like ticking bombs. The animation is aggressive, sharp cuts, explosive choreography, camera movement that makes fights feel unstable, like the world itself is glitching. The sound design? Every clash rings like metal tearing reality apart. When noble prophecies activate, it's not flashy, it's oppressive. What makes it special is the tension. Nobody feels safe. Even conversations feel like pre-fight standoffs. Characters drip aura, but it's the dangerous kind, the someone's about to die aura. This isn't Fate for newcomers. This is Fate for people who want the franchise turned up to 11 and set on fire. If you want zero hand-holding and maximum chaos, don't miss this. Number 7, Sentenced to be a Hero. You think becoming a hero is a blessing. Yeah, not here. This anime flips the fantasy power trip on its head. Being labeled a hero is a punishment, a death sentence disguised as honor. The world feels hostile, grimy, and suffocated. Armor looks heavy. Magic feels exhausting. Every mission feels like survival, not glory. The animation leans gritty. Muted colors, harsh lighting, brutal fight choreography where every hit feels painful. The OST uses low, droning tracks that make even victories feel hollow.
What really sells it is the emotional fatigue. Characters aren't dreaming of greatness, they're trying to stay alive. Relationships form under pressure, not destiny. And when someone dies, the show doesn't romanticize it. It just moves on, like the world always does. This is fantasy for people tired of chosen one nonsense. If you like dark worlds that treat heroism like a curse, this will ruin you in the best way. Number 6. Champignon Witch. You think this is going to be light and cozy? Surprise, it's unsettling as hell. Champignon Witch wraps its fantasy in soft visuals and nature-focused imagery, but underneath is a story about isolation, fear, and being misunderstood. The environments are lush, forests feel alive, mushrooms glow with eerie beauty, and the animation has this organic, breathing quality. The sound design is subtle but creepy. Wind through leaves, footsteps in silence, moments where the absence of music makes your skin crawl. The witch herself is quiet, reserved, and painfully human despite the fantasy setting. The twist is emotional. It's not about power, it's about perception, how society treats what it doesn't understand. Every episode feels like a fairy tale told at midnight. If you love fantasy that's calm on the surface but deeply uncomfortable underneath, don't sleep on this. Perfect for fans of atmospheric, introspective storytelling. Number 5. The Barbarian's Bride. This anime thrives on culture clash. The princess and the barbarian king aren't stereotypes, they're people shaped by completely different values. The tension isn't loud, it's in pauses, misunderstandings, and subtle shifts in respect. The art direction is raw, earthy colors, rough textures, and character designs that feel grounded. The OST blends tribal rhythms with softer melodies, mirroring the emotional push and pull. What makes it special is how intimacy is built slowly. No cheap drama, no forced misunderstandings, just two people navigating a world that expects them to fail. If you're tired of fantasy romance that rushes everything, this is a breath of fresh air. Watch this if you love slow-burn relationships with real emotional payoff. Before we get to the top 5, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It means the world to the channel. Now, let's continue this clock. Number 4. Meikyu no Shiryo, Labyrinth, fantasy film. This film is suffocating in the best way. The labyrinth feels alive, corridors shift, shadows move wrong, and the sense of being lost never lets up. The animation is cinematic, with haunting lighting and surreal imagery. Sound design carries the tension. Echoes linger too long. Silence feels dangerous. When the music hits, it's minimal but crushing. Emotionally, it's about obsession and curiosity, the need to keep going even when you should turn back. Watching it feels like being trapped in someone else's dream. If you want fantasy that sticks with you long after the credits, this is mandatory viewing. Number 3. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Tears of the Blue Sea. The animation is movie quality, polished. Water effects are insane. Magic battles feel fluid and massive. But the emotional core is what matters. This movie leans into loss, responsibility, and the cost of leadership. The OST swells at just the right moment, and Rimiru's growth feels earned. The stakes feel personal, not just political. If you love emotional payoff with god-tier visuals, don't skip this. Number 2. The Beginning After the End, Season 2. You think this is another power fantasy? Yeah, but done right. Season 2 goes harder emotionally. Arthur's dual identity weighs heavier, the world feels more dangerous, and every victory feels temporary. The animation improves, fights feel sharper, and the sound design adds weight to every clash. The twist is maturity. This isn't about flexing power, it's about surviving responsibility. If you like reincarnation stories with actual consequences, this is for you. Number 1. One Piece Elbath Arc. You think One Piece can't still surprise you? Crazy! Elbath is mythic. Giants feel legendary. The scale is absurd. Animation hits cinematic highs. The OST goes full Norse fantasy, and the lore drops are insane. Every Straw Hat moment feels earned. The arc balances wonder, danger, and emotional payoff like only One Piece can. If you love epic fantasy with history, heart, and hype, this is untouchable. All right, that's my list. What did I underrate? What deserves number one instead? Drop your takes, argue respectfully, and let's talk fantasy anime like real fans.